Welcome back to Ones to Watch on Footy Accumulators, powered by our friends at Football Index, which is, of course, the stock market for buying and selling shares in players. I'm joined, as always, by a man I've missed greatly, Sir Alan McInally.
Hello,
fresh from Cheltenham as well.
Yeah, listen, it's just a fabulous 4 days.
Any winners?
I had a couple of winners. Epitom was a nice one for me. But listen, Cheltenham's just a fabulous place. Never lets any of us down. It's so exciting.
And you're on form as well this morning. Good
I
to
am
see.
on form. It's brilliant. I'm looking forward to this, exactly. And I think with a bit of luck, the people we're going to have a one to watch is you'd certainly be thinking about having them in your portfolio.
All being well. So who
absolutely.
is our first one to watch?
Well, the first, it's off the back of really Chelsea's performances and certainly Ross Barkley's performances. I think he's been learning from Frank. I think he's pushed himself into a position where Frank probably can't let him out the team. And obviously with the Euros coming up, I think he's certainly one to watch, as simple as that.
Absolutely. Well, he scored against Liverpool in the FA Cup, provided 2 assists as well last time out against his former team, Everton. And like you say, with the Euros coming up, that competition for the number 10 shirt for England, we look at Dele Alli, Jack Grealish, James Maddison. How does he compete with them?
Well, you wouldn't put Dele Alli in the team at the moment. I know that Spurs are struggling, some of the big players are injured, but I don't see the Dele Alli of 2 years ago. Jack Grealish is a very good football player. To pinhole him into a particular position, I think Gareth is still contemplating the whole thing. James Maddison at the start of the season was sensational. Last 10, 12, 14 games, not been just as influential in the Leicester team. I think Ross Bartley, of all of the players that we've mentioned just there, is as good as any at the moment. And certainly in terms of coming to form, hopefully, towards the summertime, I don't see any reason why Gareth Southgate won't be thinking that he's almost a starter for me, Ross Bartley, in the middle of the park.
Absolutely. Well, he made his England debut aged 19 under Roy Hodgson. 33 caps, 6 goals for England so far. And we go back as well to that Chelsea side. How key a part of Lampard's midfield is he?
Well, huge, genuinely huge. I mean, we wrote a couple down at Jorginho and Kovacic, and Bartley plays well. I think he doesn't give him a free role, but he likes him to get forward and get in the box and support whoever's playing up top, obviously. And we need to mention the likes of Billy Gilmour and Mason Mount, who have just been brilliant, incidentally. And the boy Billy Gilmour, fingers crossed for Scotland, anyway, he might be a bit of a throwback to, you probably don't know what I'm going to talk about, but the likes of Billy Bremner, and I'm way back.
How dare you say I don't know who Billy Bremner is?
Not you, I mean some of our viewers. And Mason Mount has done absolutely nothing wrong as well, and to a certain extent, I didn't think Mason Mount was going to be as influential in the team, in the Chelsea team, as some of their bigger players that they have, and I think he's certainly under Frank, both of those young players are learning, but you could probably play Billy Gilmour, Mason Mount and Ross Bartley in the team, and Chelsea wouldn't be affected, it would be fine.
Yeah, Lampard's doing incredible things with the youth there. Well, Barkley's price has been on the rise over the last month with an increase of around 12p. Potential route back into the England squad certainly makes his Football Index price one to keep an eye on over the next few months. So, if you're looking to buy him now, how much would you say he was worth, Al?
Bartley, how much did they buy him for? You'll know.
15 mil in 2018.
Was it 15 mil? Right, okay, well, you're not getting any change at 35 million, 40 million for Ross Bartley now. I mean,
good investment, that.
Well, it is a good investment. And at times, I would imagine even some of the Chelsea players were like, yeah, he's all right, but he's not, top level. And there's always been something about Ross Barkley where is he going to fulfil this huge potential that presumably Everton thought he was have. I think it's one that Everton have let go too early, genuinely. And I think the benefit for Chelsea has been seen. And I think he will continue to do really well. He's a good player, Ross Bartley. If he can stay injury-free, I think he'll have a big influence in the Chelsea team. And
you mentioned that price tag there. You draw a comparison to Bruno Fernandes, of course, signed Manchester United signed him for 68 mil. Oxlade-Chamberlain, 35 mil.
Well, the Oxlade-Chamberlain is a similar one. I think they're similar types of player. And if Liverpool spent, what you just said, nearly 40 million in Oxlade-Chamberlain, I think that reflects certainly the Ross Bartley situation. I just think, listen, when we're picking all the players there's loads of football players, but I think if you look at form right now, the team they're playing for right now, I think Ross Bartley's a stick out. Really
absolutely. Do. Well, his current Football Index price is at £1.39, which is definitely one to watch if his recent form continues and his competitors for that spot in the England squad continue to struggle for form. Now then, the second player that we're going to discuss out is Jamie Vardy. 33 years of age, so he makes me feel young, which is good. That's a rarity that happens in football.
Makes me feel old.
What are your thoughts on him?
Well, there's a big debate at the moment with Tammy Abraham being out, with Rashford being injured, which incidentally I still don't think looks particularly great of the things I've been hearing about Rashford. Harry Kane obviously is the big name that's out for England. And you've got Jamie Vardy, who scores a couple of goals against my old team, Villa, the other week there. Yeah. And if you're Gareth Southgate, I think you must be seriously thinking, right, okay, the Euros are coming up. Who have I got available and who's going to be at the point of, coming to peak fitness? And even if Rashford and Kane and Tammy Abraham, etc., get back in, they've still missed a chunk of the season. Certainly Harry Kane has, and Rashford with a pretty bad injury.
Vardy scoring goals again, isn't he?
Well, Gary, exactly. And you would need to think, look, come on, we'll go for lunch. I need to try and get you to change your mind. Everybody I'm hearing talks about Jamie Vardy when he says, he's made a decision, he's not going to play for England again. Well, that's okay. And if he's going to be that stubborn, then fine. Jamie Vardy, I think, has proven with Leicester City the fact he can still score goals, can still definitely do a job for England. It just depends, will he take up that...
Well, if he does make himself available as well, huge media dividend potential there, isn't there?
Massive. I mean, he's done such a good job. He's done a better job at Leicester than I even thought he would do, genuinely, because he is by far their talisman. And even when he's been out, things haven't... And to be fair to Iheanacho's done really well, genuinely really well. And we haven't seen as much as Maddison, etc., etc. Defensively, they've been pretty good. Johnny Evans, to be fair, is probably the signing of the season. Along with Soyuncu, who's done brilliant considering he's only stepped in with Harry Maguire going to Manchester United. So there's plenty of positives for Leicester City. But I think when we're looking for the ones to watch, he's already there, Jamie Vardy, and a lot of people realise that. But I think you're seeing the value of Jamie Vardy now, and I just think he might be one you might be thinking of if he would possibly change his mind to be involved with England in the summer.
We'll have a chat as well about what Leicester might do in the summer transfer window, but let's have a look at who else could be available then. So Calvert-Lewin, for example.
Done okay, done really well, works really hard. I don't think he's top level international striker. But again, it'll all depend on the form that Everton as a team are in, which would hopefully make him shine. If I was choosing both, I would choose Jamie Vardy at the moment still.
Danny Ings?
Probably Southampton, when he was injured, missed him the most of all out with Harry Kane with Spurs. I think he's one of the reasons why they've managed to jump out the bottom three, Danny Ings, and I think he should get a place in the England squad, depending on who's available.
And Mason Greenwood?
Young, really young, still 18, 19, sure he's not 20 yet. He is by far the most exciting young player I've seen for ages. It plays in that position who all he thinks is scoring goals. He's not really bothered about getting the ball in, shielding it, passing it again. He's in the box and he will shoot from anywhere. Is it too young for him to be involved yet? Maybe, but in 2 or 3 years, Mason Greenwood will be an international football player of that, I'm certain.
Amazing. Definitely want to watch them for the
there's
future.
No question about it. I think there's certainly one we'll have to keep an eye on.
You mentioned as well Leicester there. What do they do in terms of they don't want to find themselves in a similar situation to Spurs that they have this season? No. What do you think they need to do in the summer to ensure that doesn't happen? Well,
I mean, you just mentioned before we got into Leicester City very briefly. Spurs have had 3 windows without spending a penny, and now it's come back to bite them a little bit. I think Leicester have been a little bit more active, but they can't rely on Vardy, 33, next year 34 obviously, for the next couple. Iheanacho I think has done really well, but I think there's no question that Brendan Rodgers will be thinking right now, okay, I can bring a striker and I possibly need to bring another midfield player in. And I think they'll be pretty active in the summer in doing that. I think it'll be exciting times at Leicester City. Leicester City have got a few quid. Everybody knows they've got good owners. There always seems to be a good feel around Leicester City.
And of course, because of where they are now, they're going to attract players as well, aren't they?
Well, absolutely, for sure. As much as the manager, I think, carries a lot of clout like that too, and has done a good job. They've gone through a kind of topsy-turvy time. You know, their performances certainly haven't been as good as the start of the season. But I think everybody at Leicester would be disappointed if they didn't finish in that top 4.
I think I'd agree with you there. Well, Jamie Vardy is currently £1.35 on Football Index after a 3-month dip in price, likely to be due to his injury. But scoring goals again, isn't he? And remember, huge media dividend potential as well. Ooh. Right, if you haven't used Football Index yet and you do fancy giving it a try, but you're not enjoying it within the first 7 days, you can instant sell all your shares and email them to have your losses refunded up to £500. Remember, you've got to be over 18 to use a Football Index and make sure you're using it responsibly. Thank you very much, Sir Alan McInally. We'll be back here next week.